Hello, Karen Bierce here today, and we are working on Junk Journal January 2025. So today's prompt, I'm going to do two today on one page at least, and there's a number of reasons. So today's prompt, number 9 is hidden, and number 10 is trim. Today's the 13th of January, and I'm starting to fall behind. So I'm going to do sort of two together, but they're going to be, there'll be a lot. It'll be a lot going on. And I think that'll be good. And, again, these challenges are what you make them. So I did pull out some things. I pulled out this lace, which I've had forever, and I thought I would color it. I pulled out a stash of different tags that are surfaces that I've used. You're watching a video, Tim or Dina Wakely or Diane Reevely or whoever, oh my gosh, look at that. And you just start slapping on paint with them, sort of in conjunction to what they're doing. So I thought I would pull out this, again, trying to use my stash. I found this. I think one of my students gave this to me. They thought it was very cool. So I don't know who it comes from or I know nothing about it, but how pretty is that? Whoever did that, well done. If you know who it is, just put it in the comments. That would be great. And she just has all the different words for things like crochet, printables, ribbon, deboss, and it's a periodic table of junk journaling. So that's actually kind of perfect. And then I pulled out that tag that I had pulled out the other day. This came from my little scrap bin, one of my little scrap bins. Yesterday, I think, a video. I was like, oh, and this is my scrap bin. And then I laughed afterwards going, well, one of 4,000, right? And I also keep threatening and not using these. So the Rona Ferrer, I pulled one out. I realized just having the tin was too vague. So the rub-ons, and we'll see if that works. And if it doesn't, I will figure something else out. So I thought I'd start with this. Obviously, this is the next page. So this is going to be more of a mixed media one. And I am tempted to try and pull in more of the junk journaling. So this is what's interesting about this. Like, what do you consider junk journaling versus art journaling? To me, lots of ink. And to me, this is the prime example of the difference to me. This is junk journaling, where you're using paper, and mainly paper and words. And even though junk journaling has taken on a life of its own, it used to be back in the day, it was you're using mail, you're using junk. I guess technically this would be considered junk. But then that, to me, is art journaling. So mine is a bit of both. And so that's what I find interesting about this is periodic table of junk journaling, but it's in an art journal sort of setting. To me, that's more art journal. And yeah, I feel like that line is becoming very blurred, which is cool. Now, trim, I had ideas of using trim. I have all of those laces with the dangly beads. I don't know where they are. I'm not organized yet. I came upon them not too long ago. And one of my goals with this is not to get fixated on a product and then spend 2 days looking for it, because I just want to, work and get it done type of thing. So these are some of the, oh, how fun is that? I think that was actually a Dina Wakely class. That's using her gloss sprays. That was in one of her classes. Yeah, some of these, they have great classes. If you are struggling or you want to learn I think these are from a Dina Wakely class, what you're doing, how to get started, take a little class. Oh, look at that. Oof. So my idea to start with I'm going to start with the hidden is today's prompt. And I thought of I'm going to do a flap. And then, of course, that being the hidden area. And then the trim, I thought I'd add trim. So I really like that because it goes really well with this. And I like the idea of it hanging over. And then my thought was I would glue some of this to the back and keep sort of the mixed media theme going. However, that's gorgeous. That is obviously using paste. I'm going to say that's the grunge paste. This is grunge paste with spray, which, yeah, Tim Holtz's sprays. If I had to guess, I'd say Distress Stain sprays. Oh, it must be some Diane Reevely too, though, because that bright pink. I don't know. Anyway, paste with sprays. That would be fun. And then that sticks out. And that, oh. I'm not a huge pink girl, but I really didn't want to lose this. Originally, I thought of just doing a tuck, doing a pocket, but then the hidden part. And it's so funny. I love that. Again, I think that's Dina Ways. Yeah, it's Dina's gloss spray because it's got that sheen to it. So Dina's gloss sprays are fabulous because they have that gloss. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to have to switch and use this one. And then I'm not going to look any further because I don't want to, flying things, keep that. And I guess what I could do is put a couple of them in there, but I'm just going to put that away for now. Okay, I'm going to, hang on one sec. I'm getting my box, so I put things away after. My middle son keeps telling me, it's a new year, it's a new me. And I'm thinking of that with the decluttering, that I am making a big effort to put away my bits and pieces where they go when I'm finished to help with the clutter, help maintain. So I really do like that. And so what I'll do, I'll start off by, I'm going to glue this and then maybe put some secret message there. So are any of you doing one little word where you pick a word for the year? I am still working on my word. All right, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to glue the back of this and then stick that down and then trim it out. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to use that decoupage glue. Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out my one little word. So I have brave on deck. Flexible was another one I was thinking of because of a number of things, like just trying to be more flexible and having to be flexible. I am pretty flexible, but try to be more flexible in that there's a lot of stuff out of my control this year, and I just need to be flexible and go with it. Not let it bother me. Don't get anxious about it. I'm going to use this space because I like the idea. This gives me the option. That's where, for some reason, I thought of one little word was to put, make sure I do it right, words up. So one of the things you can do is put this up to a window, and then, because I really do want to get that bottom sewing on it. So if I put it up to a window, I can see the outline of my tag, and then I can come along and line it up a bit better. Of course, my glue is dried in the process of figuring that out. So yeah, so one little word is you pick a word for the year, and it's sort of your mantra. And it's just the idea is that it's going to help guide you, I guess is a good way of putting it. I want to say, again, I've talked about this in a previous video, but I think Ali Edwards, if she didn't come up with it, she definitely made it the thing to do. And she has one little word projects and whatnot. I haven't done those. I sort of pick my word and just have it. I don't make a huge deal of it, but I think about it off and on. And I find it helpful. I find it helpful. I talked about it in a previous video that my word last year was thrive. And by the end of the year, I realized I really did sort of make that happen. You're literally watching glue dry. Isn't that crazy? Okay, it is moderately straight, which is cool. So thrive, I feel like I did a lot of health stuff last year. Started working out very regularly. So yeah, so this year, what are the words you're considering? If you're doing this, leave a comment below and let me know what word are you thinking about. I haven't picked my word yet. It's January 13th. As I said, I like the word to marinate for a bit. And I guess the idea being I should have been marinating in December, but you know, whatever. These things happen when they happen. All right. Just punch a little hole here. Good enough. So if you get a punch and you don't like, you know, that it's not, there's a little bit of white there, all you have to do is, and then I could take a marker if I wanted to be fussy, which usually I don't mind, but you know, this is good. It helps other people figure out how to fix these things. And then you just come in. I guess that does look better. Now, if I put a fabric there, it will be irrelevant. So, okay, I like that. I think what I'm going to do, I want some colorful washi tape. Yeah, that's fun. Maybe what I'll do is let's distress the edges of that with some fun color. Okay, this might be a bit crazy, but I think this is one of Dina's new colors, Stoked. It's very, I haven't used it yet, as you can tell, because it's, so with these products, there's a ball at the bottom and you want to shake it. Let me cover my glue before we end up with an accident. But I thought it would be fun maybe to edge it and maybe do some, did you see that Ranger? When I first saw it, I was like, that's crazy. But then now that I think about it, it's actually kind of genius. Ranger has come out with a machine that will shake your bottles. And again, at the beginning, I was like, oh, come on. But if you think about it, when I'm working on mixed media and I'm doing a bunch of different bottles, a bunch of this, it would make sense. And especially if you have hand issues, like it does make your wrist sore. So anyway, the idea is you want this all to be mixed. That's what you want. So apparently I'm not going to go for that. But what I will do, this is my first time using the little dauber doohickeys. Okay. Doesn't seem, I feel like it's a bit stuck. Let's do this. Let's get a pipette. There we go. All right. So this is pretty fluid. I'm going to clean that pipette right away because, so one of the things about Dina's sprays, and I think they're having challenges because unless you treat them really, really well and you work them really, really well, they get clogged because it's a very glossy, sticky, again, it's an acrylic paint in a bottle. So I think that's one of the issues, and they've come up with this, but I think this has gotten clogged as well. So that's fun. But you know what? You can always pour. We can work around these things. We do this for the products that we love, is my what I say. If these are such fabulous products that it's sometimes worth the hassle. And I thought I would do this. Oh, we could do some drips maybe. I guess, well, on the other hand, I don't really want to lose, the integrity, but it's very translucent. So, oof, this is fun. I'd like to get some drips going. Kind of a different way to use it, but I did want to do some. And so the deal is with they do sell the spray bottles separately, so you can still turn them into sprays. And then let's do some drips, some focused drips. It doesn't want to, it only wants to drip where the original drip is. Come on now. There we go. Oh, that's kind of cool, huh? Ooh. All right. I like that. I didn't want to go crazy with the drips, but I'm going to set that aside. Although, you know what I might do is just, there's a little too much. I'm not a big fan of white space. I know you should have white space according to Dina, but I like not white space. All right, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Fun. Ooh, maybe we should do some on this too. I don't even know what type of ink I used on here, so if it's it might bleed a little, but that's okay too. Yeah, so this must be, some of it's archival. Ooh, that's kind of cool. This is obviously Distress Ink, Uncharted Mariner Distress Ink, because it's bleeding, but look what it's done. It's turning it into sort of a purple. I really like that. Not too much, but a little bit. Yeah. All right. So now we know how to tint this to make it a cool, funky purple, is to add some Uncharted Mariner. And I'll put that aside to dry. And then I'm going to bring my book, and I think what I'll do is some stenciling. So while we're talking about it, stenciling that is, and I'll segue into storage. I have these little dauber thingers. Makeup foamies is how I use to stencil. So again, I've been talking about this declutter class, and I thought as I go, I'm going to give some tips on storage. So this is my Dina Wakley. This is a Dina Wakley bag. I don't know if you still can get them. It's quite big, as you can see, but I put my Dina Wakley stencils in them. It's the perfect place for Dina Wakley stencils. So again, I'm going to stick with the theme because that's fun. And I'm not going to, I don't know why, I just gravitate to these. I love these. Let's see if this stuff works, because it is quite fluid. So I know already, because it's quite fluid, I know already that I'm not going to get, I have to be careful because I'm going to get it everywhere. But I do know, ooh, we could dye the lace with it too. Mad scientist. So I do know that it's not going to be a super clear image potentially, and that's okay. But it's also very translucent. So I think this one is better used with a spray. I wonder, like, it seems to be similar, but it's, yeah, because that's not really showing up at all. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Just make a pink background. So my goal was just really to use this up. So I did get a little bit of pink there. I think you need it in a much more concentrated, you know, like you can see here, much more concentrated area. Show you my new, brand new, because I just thought of it, trick. So this one is blackberry, and you always want to test it on the side. And a lot of times this is the problem. You go to use them and they're jammed up. Now, if you use them all the time, you have less of an issue with this. I haven't used these in a while. So this is my new trick. I'm going to put a brand new, and I'm going to get that working. And then, of course, I need something to cover my workspace. And now that everything's been, all my clutter's clear. No, I know this. Okay, here. Oops. Put that under there. And I'm just going to spray. Ooh, look at that. That's going to be fun. Okay. What? I love that. And now I don't want to waste the goodness that's on there as well. There's got to be somewhere where I can press down. Okay. That might be fun. Then I have a little more going on in the next page. Although what I should do is pull out. It's always good to have a couple of tags beside you when you start doing inky things. Look how great that looks. Can you even see that? Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm done. I'm not going to use this color anymore. Although while we have it out, I think I will just quickly. I'm going to grab one of these that had less stuff on it. Like that. Look at that. Let's give that a spritz. Just because, you know, while I have it out. Why not? Why not? And then okay, add a little bit of fun to that. So my new thing, let's say I've finished with this. I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to immediately clear the nib. But then I'm going to keep this in my hand so I don't end up with the color all over when I inevitably knock it over. And then beside me, I just have a bucket, and I'm going to immediately put that in. And I'm going to clean this right away. I don't have to clean it right away, but the gist of it is that I will just pull off the lid. So leave it in the water like that. And now this is my sprayer. I'm going to clean it out. And then the next time I go to use a glossy paint or glossy spray, gloss spray, here's what they look like. I didn't even show you. The next time I go to use it, if it's clogged, I'm going to use that one. And therefore, that really helps with the whole, oh my gosh, it's too frustrating. Because again, I love these products, but I don't reach for them sometimes. And I know I'm not alone. I don't reach for them sometimes because they can be a little kerfickety. I'll clean a bit of this stencil. I don't usually clean my stencils, but this is kind of, I'll give it a bit of just a bit. I don't want to lose the integrity of my stencil. So yeah, so that's the key. If you use them all the time, you probably have a less chance of that happening. I don't. I use them, I put them away, I forget about them, I pull them out, I get excited, and then they don't work and I get frustrated. So there's my 2 hot tips. But that's kind of fun, huh? I've done a bit of heat drying, and look at this now. See, that's the difference with the gloss. They're glossy. Just like in the name, but that's just so fun. So here's the tag. It's almost dry, pretty dry. Love that. Grunged that up. And now I'm going to, you know what this needs for sure? I'm going to grab the luster wax. All right, I'm going to take some Sizzix luster wax in rose gold. It's very coppery. I'm just going to hit the high points, add some, scuff it up a bit. So you see what that does. Just helps the colors pop. This is also one of my favorite techniques. And you want it to be flat on your foamy. So like here where I got a bunch in between, my foam was there was too much on there, but look at that. And you can use as much as you like or as little as you like. And it really just helps that image of that stencil. This was a Tim Holtz stencil. Pop. So yes, I'm still following along with the organization. I didn't do a lot yesterday. I was working in other areas of my house. I'm going to distress this with this too, because that'll be nice. So that's a challenge, isn't it? Like we have our studio, which demands the attention, but then you also have your house stuff and the everyday stuff. And I was a bit, so on the one hand, I have to just be very cognizant that I'm so thankful that I get to do the dishes. Because there's people today that wish they could do such a mundane task as the dishes that we can take for granted. So I do want to be mindful of that. Look at that. Okay, that sounds good. Now what I'm going to do is put this tape down. And I think these are both Dina Wakley. I think so. This could be Diane. I know this is Dina. So let's see the sticky level. These are older tapes, so I don't know how sticky they'll be. And I've got that sticking out quite nicely. Kind of where I want it. Whoop. Now, because, I think I'm going to add, because this is attaching to the distressed or the stenciled area, it might not stay. Mind you, I can always come and fix it later, but I'd rather just fix it right away. So what I'm going to do is, sorry if I'm throat clearing on camera. I seem to be a bit stuffy today. Just going to add some of that. Of course, it doesn't even want to stick to this stuff. There we go. All right, that'll stay. That will stay. Like, I might use a different color here. So I'm going to do that, and then I thought I would also put... No, maybe I'll just do one. I meant to do them, side by side, but I didn't leave myself enough room. I suppose I could do a little bit here. You know what? Maybe I'll just do a little dab in the middle. There we go. That's fun. All right. So there's my flap. It is relatively straight. Okay. Cool. I like that. Now on the inside, let's see if I can find one. I'm going to do one that's more pink. Of course, I missed their sticky here. I missed my target zone. So let's see if we can put another one. I love washi tape, just for the record. I love it. I use it all the time on everything. Okay, and that pretty much. Covering the sticky. All right, I was trying to figure out, I don't like that there anymore because I don't want to cover this up. And I don't like it there because that doesn't really make sense. But then I thought, well, this would be good because it's hidden. And then I like that. So let's see if these work. I can't even imagine how old these are. And if they don't work, we'll figure something else out, I'm sure. But oh, wouldn't that be great if they did work? Let's use a bone folder. I had one of those little, these things I found. I was like, gosh, it was right in front of me. One of these. All right. I wonder how long I've had these. I mean, it literally could be 20 years. It could be. No way. They're going on like, it's going on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Well, I don't want to speak too soon because I might. Isn't this fun? You get to watch me scribble this on. So yeah, so again, the only downside with this, one of the issues I'm having, and I've always had, and I think again a lot of us have, is we buy stuff that we love. Like when we buy it, we love it, right? I love that tin of rub-ons, wherever I left it, put it. And we don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to throw it out. I found that, and as I'm going through, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. And I'm not using, oh my gosh. Okay, that is crazy. I really can't believe that still worked. I'm just going to throw that out. Just because. Yep. Oh, again, if we're talking organization, I have my Dina Wakley sprays in the Ranger containers that they sell. So yeah, that just blows my mind. Company is it? Autumn Leaves. Shishka bishka. Is there a year on it? I mean, just think about it. It was $4 when I bought it for this tin. That's unbelievable. That just, wow. All right. I guess I can use those. I'm going to just stick them somewhere where I see them, where I use them. See, that's the issue, right? Again, this is the issue I have with cleaning my space, is I end up putting it in front of me and then more in front of me and more in front of me. So I'm going to have to find a home for that, but remember to bring it. Okay. I had intended to, let's get this done here. Let's get something done. I could just sit here all day with y'all because it's fun and creative, but it might be a little boring for you. I had intended originally to do it, I don't know, maybe I'll still do that. I was going to color this, was my idea. But see, now it's kind of, because it was going to be a pocket, and now I've decided to do a flip. I don't know, I guess it still makes sense. Oh, maybe on the bottom. And then it would peek out of my journal. And the other thing I thought was along the side. That looks good there too. So I have pulled out, I'm going to do it on the side. I like that the best. I've pulled out some mica stains because that gives it a shimmery look. And I'm going to stick with the colors that are sort of floating around, which is the blue here and then the green, Merry Mint. But see how that, I don't know if you can tell, the camera a lot of time doesn't pick up the shimmer. And then I don't know what's going on. Those of you who know me, I'm playing with pink. So if maybe I have a fever, I don't know. And for those of you that love pink, good on ya. I am more of a blue girl. We all have our likes. And pink, I have friends I hang out with pink people, so that's okay. I'm tolerant of pink people. But I also brought some gloss sprays out to try. I want to do a test, and I'm going to do it on this little piece. And I made it, it's like the length of a tag. So that'll be good, and then I could use it. Again, it's going to be interesting because this is a, you know, harder. But I thought while I have this stuff out. So this is going to be messy for sure. So I'm going to put my book away somewhere. And then I'm going to... That's dry. Let's just do the other side. Yeah, I'm not going to make a big fuss. And of course, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing, yeah, it does make sense to have a thing that shakes your... The only thing is you really do have to be careful. I don't want to shake it up and down because I don't want the mica to go up in there. And if you're using these more often, they mix faster. So... But I think what I'll do, let me mix these all up and then so you don't have to watch me mixing, and then I'll be back. While I do that, I'm going to show you one of my sneaks is I take a popsicle stick and I just, because sometimes the stuff just gets glued to the bottom. And the challenge is if you don't add in the mica, the ratio becomes to the point where, you know, it's too much mica. Like this is just jammed in here. Again, I haven't used these in a while. So the good news is they'll still work. I'm holding very firmly to the bottle. I could show you on my desk where my desk is stained, permanently stained with Tattered Angel pomegranate. They discontinued the color. It was one of my favorite colors back in the day. I was on the Tattered Angels design team. And it was one of my favorite colors back in the day. I'm also trying not to shake my desk. I realize my camera mount's sitting on my desk, so I'm trying to not make you dizzy. But yeah, and they had discontinued it, and I had a brand new full bottle. And I did a technique where I took this off and sat it on my desk. There we go. See, there's no mica there. So you can see the difference. The mica, you want to get that mixed in. Yeah, it was sitting on my desk and I knocked the entire bottle and I just could not get to it fast enough. Oh. So number one, I was crying because it was discontinued. But number two, it's like this violent maroon color. Ooh, that's a little darker than I thought. That's fine though. Cocktail party. So that's really interesting. I would have thought, let's take this tag out while we're at it. Oh, it's a little darker. That's a fun color though. So I could also spray it, but anyway, I'm not, it's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine. I do like that though. Okay, and then I am going to clean the little nib guy. That's part of the issue. So it's going to be a little darker than I want it. So this one, giving up the ghost. So I'm just going to take a paintbrush that's clean. And actually that I can get the mica up as well. Yes, so because of that pomegranate issue, that's why I'm very, okay, hold it in your hand. Don't let go. Especially I tell my students that in a class situation. Don't ever put a bottle on the table because all of your neighbors, I'm going to kind of mix that in a bit. All of your neighbors will end up with pomegranate on them. And I don't know if you can see, yeah, I'm just cleaning my towel off. So I'm not very happy with this color. It kind of looks a little muddy because green and pink don't play as nicely together. So I'm going to go in with the blue a little bit. And just sort of recolor that a little. That's a little better. All right, different. We'll see. But I'm very excited to, I'm going to set that aside. One of the things I realized, so again, doing this, I know I'm going ad nauseum about this cleaning thing, but again, I think a bunch of us are in the same boat. One of the things I do realize that I need, and I'm making notes as I have these thoughts so I remember, but one of the things I do realize, I need a drying space. I need an area in my room, and so as I'm decluttering and getting rid of things, I'm going to think about that. I need an area in my room that I can just put plunk stuff down and dry it, let it dry. I know these are old. They're not going to work, but that's okay. I want a little more control anyway, so. I'd rather paint. I want a little bit of control with this. Although that's a lot of work. Oh my goodness. Rather than spritz. Technically, I could do 3 different colors. That would be fun. Now, I've totally gone distracted. Squirrel. Now I'm just playing. There's an oldie. This one, oh, so I'm using Peacock and Ocean. I meant to grab turquoise. Turquoise is my favorite color. Of course, turquoise. So I have to say it's very quiet here today. We've had a number of snow days, and we're right. Oh, I shouldn't have done the blue and blue beside each other. Dang it. Oh well. Where we have a number, I mean, they're different colors, but they're very similar. We have had a number of snow days here, and we're right beside the hill where all the kids come. And it's fun. I don't mind it most of the time. And the only time I mind it is when the little kids scream. So yeah, when the little kids scream, and the hill's a good football, probably football field, ways away. Yeah, I'd say. But oh my goodness, when those little girls get out there specifically, and you know what? I love little girls. You go, you be you. But there'll be a bunch of gaggle of them just screaming like forever. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you're having fun, but can you stop screaming? So today they're back in school. The kids are back in school, and it's so quiet. And my husband has meetings out of the house. He works from home, and he has meetings out of the house. And I'm like, oh, so quiet. Don't you love that? All right, this might be very cool. So normally I would wipe this off. I don't like to waste the paint, so I'd wipe it off on a tag or whatever, but I don't want to bore you too much. I'm already boring you. All right, look at that. It'll be interesting to see how it dries. As I'm waiting for these to dry, I started dabbing some of the color that was left, look at how shimmery that is, onto my tag, and I really like it. So I think what I'm going to do is, it's this color that's really kind of cool. So I think what I'm going to do is spritz a bit more, and then it's sitting on top of it very nicely, and it's shimmery and fun. Yeah, look at that. And it adds a lot of coolness to it. So that's always fun. That's why you like to have, should have a couple of tags lying about. Oh, all right, that's cool. And then of course this can be used. This is, again, that's the crafty issue, right? And then we end up with boxes of fun potential things. So here's the difference. It does look quite different. This is still a bit wet. You can see the shimmer a little bit, but not hugely. But this is very cool. This, I'm surprised by that. It almost became matte. And it colored it so well because the colors are so vibrant. And again, it's more of it's an acrylic. It's a acrylic. So it covers it completely. And I really like that. This is a little more sketchy, hodgepodgey, mixed media-ish, and that's fun too. So yeah, now I'm going to put it on the edge of the book. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to use a strip of score tape. Right, I wanted 1/4-inch score tape, but in my zest for reorganization, I don't know what I did with it. I have 1/8, but I think 1/4 would be better. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to use this. This might be better anyway because acrylic paint, it's tricky to glue on things onto. So I think this might have a better hold, the art glitter glue. And then I'm going to take this. Do we mind which way? Apparently it's got to go this way. So one of the things I can do, help hold that down. So because this is still wet, it's really not sticking well. You really want it to be dry, but what I'm going to do is bring out my trusty tiny attacher and just do this in a couple of places, and that will just help keep it down while the glue sets up. And you really can't see the staples that much, and even if you can, I like the look of the metal. So that solves that. Once it's dry, I can come back in and fix the areas where it's not staying. But all in all, I really like that. I think that's really fun. Got the lace down there. Pull out a few more things. I went to these are Tim Holtz quote chips, and this was just sitting on the top, and I just thought that works. The world needs who you were meant to be. So I thought I'd put that there. I'm going to distress the edges. And then I pulled out, these are all Tim Holtz, vellum butterfly, and of course you need the pen nib, which I haven't done that in a while anyway, so I always like to put the pen nib in the middle. And then this had been sitting on my desk when I was cleaning it, and it just says story. It's, again, some metal. But I thought I would bring in this fabric, even though, I don't know, I guess it's not too much because, and it's kind of cool because it would mean fabric, 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 3. But the reason why I think it's perfect is look at the colors, just go really nicely. And then that'll give something for my little story to attach to. So I'll put that there. So I like the idea of that pink again, the pink, you know, and then we have that tag that I forgot about. This tag, it's dry. So do I want it in pink or blue? Therein lies the question. The blue's sitting on my desk, so that makes it, you know what, I'm going to go with blue because it's sitting on my desk. And I think here's a good way to see the colors, what colors there were, sort of like a swatch. I like the bright blue. I think it was ocean. And I could use a couple. But again, I'm just going to use my paintbrush and do the edges. And then I think that's going to be it. So here's a question for you. Even though this page technically isn't finished, I think I've done a lot for it to be two pages. And then I kind of want to put stars on the edge. I might do that just because they do leave a lot of room. And I might need to color that as well, because it's very white again. So I like that. That's going to be there. So that's my question. I'm not finishing the entire page, Is that cheating? Are there rules? I feel like I've done a lot. So it's not as if I've just, stuck a little something on there and ran away. I have done quite a bit. Quite a bit. So I think for this, I'm going to use Glossy Accents. Glossy Accents is really good glue. It's very strong. Whoa, very strong. It's also very good for metal. I want my butterfly to be right there. And I like the idea of his wings being, so I just want to put glue in the middle. Bend up the wings. Ooh, bend up the wings. The only thing about the Glossy Accents is it does take time to set up, but you don't have to hold it for very long. It'll work. Has the words notes, and a fun thing to do with these to make them stand out is to take Distress crayon and you sort of push the crayon into the word, and then it's kind of good to let it dry a bit in the, I don't know, you probably can't see that. So there you go. So the key is to sort of push the crayon in there and then very gently wipe around it so you don't pull the, I'm usually not very good at that, but that was pretty solid. And I'm going to put a nice smattering of the Glossy Accents. Got that down. It's not totally set, but then I added I took a little bit of lemon. Well, first I started with the gloss stoked, and I just put you can just kind of see the pink peeking out. And then I took the lemon, and again with a paintbrush, and don't want the words to be covered. I just want to give it a little, make it a little sketchy. Then what I'm going to do, but I have to wait for this to dry. I could heat set it a bit. And then I'm going to just put these little tiny, tiny, tiny star brads on either side. So I'm just using my pokey hole tool and going through, and so it'll be something like that. These have very little tiny, I just love them. One of the things I love about the gloss is once they're dry, it's permanent. So you don't have to worry about, because this surface of these are a little bit slick. So for example, you can't really use Distress. It will rub off. You can, but you have to really let it dry, and there's no guarantee it's going to stay on there. So what's nice about the gloss spray is when it's dry, it's permanent. I didn't even look to see if that was even. Oh, well. As Tim says, you get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit. All right. I love it. I love that. That is going to work. That's going to work. And again, I'll just take my Glossy Accents because it's a very super strong. And the only thing is I'll have to hold it for a hot minute because I kind of want that. Oh, shoot, that's moving. I'm not convinced. I might have to staple that down. That's one of the challenges when, I'm gluing to an uneven surface. I'm pushing down on an uneven surface. It's just, glues don't tend to like it. So I might have to put a few staples there. We'll see. It hasn't set. So I'll stop fiddling with it. Avoiding the glare. I did put a staple there, and I realized after the fact what I could have done was taken another little star brad And then the only issue being there'd be the brad on the other side. So the other thing I did cover that with a layer of decoupage glue. I always like to do that with my washi, especially in a book like this, because, you know, like you see, this is coming up. So I'm going to glue that down as well. And that'll just ensure that it stays there. So that's been attached. And then I just took from my little stash bucket. Oh, I managed to get, look at that. I got some yellow on there, bonus yellow. Can scrape that off. I had this on my desk from Stash Story, and this little piece of ribbon, I just kind of bunched it up with a bulb pin. I think that's the name for those. And I'm done. I really, really like that. I do. I like that a lot. And then you flip it and you have the crate. I think I do need to finish this off by adding... I should show you my other. This is my other. Oh, there's some ring light for you. Don't think I can avoid that Darth Vader, but that's where I have. Those are the new ones. All the new, some of the new, not all the new ones of Dina's Glossy, but isn't that a great tin? Love those tins for that. They fit those great. But I'm going to get my V-Ball pen. And I think I'm just going to sketchily give that a bit of an outline. So yeah, so comment below. Do you feel that this is cheating? Do you feel that we're good to go? Because I've used 2 prompts. I just really like that, I have to say. I did put the spray or the... And then the challenge tomorrow's magazine. So that might be a bit of an issue. I'm not sure I want to put magazine on there, but we'll see. We shall see, but I'm very happy with how that turned out. Especially since I used a bunch of stash again, and that oh my gosh, this is a good reason to have these tags lying about, you know, but I got to get inky. I haven't used my gloss sprays in a while. I just really enjoyed that. I had a fun play. I did more than I thought I was going to do. And that's good. That's good. I feel very relaxed and de-stressed. So I can go on with my day, which, again, I have a ton of stuff to do today. So I'm going to mark off hidden and trim. And just keep going. So tomorrow's magazine. And I think I'm good. I think it's good. I'm going to allow myself to be done with those 2 prompts. I think I did enough. Vote below if you think, vote in the comments if you think I did enough. Or if I'm being a slacker. And again, I just, oh, look at that. I'd have to play with these glossy sprays a little bit more because I have to say, I freaking love that. Freaking love that. All right. I'm going to have to walk away from this, even though I just want to keep on playing. I have things to do. Things to do. Things to do. All right. You just have a fabulous day. And I hope you get to join in. And I hope you get some playtime. Bye.